Good day. I am Christian Jan Alado, ID 123, and today I'll be teaching FNDMATH LQ1, which includes equations and inequalities in one variable and partial fraction decomposition. For our next problem, we have solve for x in the quadratic equation 4x squared minus 36x equals 6, using completing the square and quadratic formula. Now, for completing the square, we basically have to um, first eliminate the coefficient of our a, since we have here our standard equation as ax squared plus bx plus c, right, equals 0. This is our equation. So we have to eliminate the coefficient of a, divide all of that to the entire equation, and then we have to divide b by 2, and then square that, and then add that to both sides of the equation. So it's better to just show that. So next, for our quadratic equation, we know that our quadratic equation equals x equals to negative b plus minus square root of b squared minus 4ac over 2a. So basically with this, we just have to substitute the values of a, b, and c, right? So for easier reference, we can, let's go for completing the square first, right? So we have here completing the square. So we have 4x squared minus 36x equals 6. So what do we want to do? What we want is to divide the entire equation by 4, right? So basically that would give us with x squared minus 9x equals to 3 over 2, right? And next, what you want to do is to divide b, right, by 2 and then square that answer, right? So what would have that would give us is negative x squared minus 9x divided by 2, that's 9 halves. That then square that, so that would give us with 9x. Wait, I'll just show it here. 9 over 2 and square. That would give us with 81 over 4, right? So that would give us with 81 over 4, and we'll have to add that to the other side as well. There. Now, we just have to combine this, the right side, and for the left side, we just basically have to get the, we just basically have to factor it out, or basically combine it. So since we have here 9 halves squared, that would give us with x minus 9 halves squared equal to, for this, we can basically revert it to 6 over 4 so that it's easier to add. So that's 6 over 4 plus 81 over 4. That would give us with 87 over 4, right? Now, since we want the value of x, we want to square both sides, or rather get the square root of both sides so that we can cancel squared. So that would give us with x minus 9 halves squared equals 87 over 4. Squared here, that would cancel. That would give us with x minus 9 halves equals to plus minus square root of 87 over 4. So why is it plus minus? It's because we don't know what exactly is the root of 87 over 4, right? And we just basically have to transpose 2 to the other side. Or wait, rather we can square the denominator here. So that would give us with 87 over 2. Square root of 87 over 2, right? So that would give us with x equals to 9 plus minus square root of 87 over 2. So that's our x using completing the square. Next, we use the quadratic formula. So for that, we basically have to identify our a, b, and c. And here we can just do that here for x squared minus 36x equals 6. If we move that to the left side, we'll have negative 6 equals 0. So our a here is 4, our b is negative 36, and our c is negative 6. Now we basically just have to um substitute it to our quadratic equation. You can also do what we did earlier, in which we divided both sides by 4, and we got so that we can eliminate the coefficient in x squared, right? Now, to substitute, we have actually, yeah, let's just divide both sides by 4, and let's use these values, right? So that would give us with x equal negative b, so that's negative 9. So that would just give us with positive 9 plus minus 9 squared is 81 minus 4 multiplied by, since our a is 1, so just as 1, and then our c is 3 halves, right? Or negative 3 halves. So for next over to a, which our a is just 1. So we can just remove that. And now we can just combine like terms or combine this. So that's 4 times 3. Negative 4 times negative 3, that's 12 over 2, that's 6. So that's 81 plus 6, which is squared of 6. So that would basically give us with the same answer of 9 plus minus squared of 87 over 2. So these are our answers. Depending on your professor, they might want to ask you to solve differently for 9 plus and then minus and yada yada. So for our next problem, we have here a word problem. So the question is, how much ml of a 60% dishwashing solution must be drawn off and replaced by water from a 1 liter solution to obtain a 15% concentrated dishwashing solution? So what it wants us to do is that 60% of dishwashing solution and 1 liter of original solution will be reduced by X amount of ml and replaced by water. So that would give us still with the final liter of solution with 1 liter, right? So to make our lives easier, we can just make a table. Here. And let's say 1, 2, 3, and then 1, 2, right? So what do you want here? We want here the original, the amount that must be taken, and the final solution, final volume rather. So for a concentration and volume, apologies for that rather. So for our original, we have originally 60% of dishwashing solution in 1000 milliliter of water. And how much water must we take so that our 60% of concentration would still result to 1 liter? So that would mean that the volume here is our X, and that our final concentration must be 15% of dishwashing solution within 1000 milliliter of volume. Now, what we want to do is basically we basically have to create an equation so that we can solve for the value of X, right? So for that, of your 0.6 multiplied by 1000, 1000 minus 0.6 x, right? Minus this. So you have to subtract this, which should equal to 0.15% of, or 15% of the 1000 milliliter solution that we want, right? So if you want to make your lives easier and don't deal with decimals, you can just multiply the entire thing to 100, right? So basically, we have to transpose this to the other side and this to the other side. So that would give us 0.6t multiplied by 1000, or yeah, we can just multiply it by 1000. So that would give us 600 minus 0.15 times 1000. That's 150 equal to 0.60x. And now we can just subtract this and then divide both sides by 0.60. So for this, we'll have 450 all over 0.60, and that would give us with x. The answer to that should be 750 milliliters. Thank you so much for watching. You may also avail syntax tutorials by scanning the QR code flashed on your screens. And once again, this is CJ from Syntax, paving your way to excellence.